Tommy Yarish here at the Combine in Indianapolis, joined now by Cowboys offensive coordinator Clayton Adams. Clayton, thanks so much for making some time. First question for you. This is your first time as a fully fledged offensive coordinator, no co-offensive coordinator tag in. What does that mean for you in terms of how you approach the Combine and what you're being able to contribute? And how did your time in Arizona and other stops before that help mold you into this process and what you can bring to the table?
That's a good question. I think, if I'm just going to kind of answer the question from top down, I think what it means is more evaluations and the opportunity to get in the room with more of the skill players, obviously the tight ends, the running backs, some of the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, and really getting kind of a top-down evaluation of different position groups. Going from being an assistant O-line coach to being a tight end coach to then being the O-line coach has kind of been really a step up in responsibility in regards to the evaluation process, each time that I've done that. So this is just another one of those opportunities where, you may really get down in the weeds with one position when you're specifically responsible for that position. Really, as the coordinator, you really kind of have to have more of an overview of, where are we looking to take this type of player? Okay, I better get a little bit more in the weeds there, and then really just have kind of an overview and a feel for what each guy can give you.
We've talked more about what you bring to the table in your process. For Brian Schottenheimer, it's his first time in this setting as a head coach. As you've worked with him here in the early days of the Combine process, what have you noticed about him leading this process for you as the head coach of the Cowboys and how he kind of commands the room and leads this process going forward?
I think what you see there that I'm really excited about is the same quality and trait that all really good leaders and good head coaches have, is that he's the same guy every day. He shows up with the same attitude of we're going to work hard, we're going to have energy. It's not fake. He's enthusiastic, but it's very authentic.
And we were talking to Matt Eberflus about this a little bit, but just the importance of the entire staff, since most of it is new, being on the same page, especially when you're at these settings and you're interviewing players and you're evaluating players. How would you assess where the staff is at this point in the process, just being so new in terms of getting to know each other, getting to know what everybody wants, and being on the same page?
I think the number one thing that you've got to do in order to get that right is that you've got to be pretty deliberate and pretty specific about what you're looking for in regards to hiring the staff, and that starts, once the head coach hires the coordinators down to all the way to the quality control guys, and then we've been able to spend a lot of time in the same room the last several weeks just kind of discussing these things and prioritizing what we want and prioritizing what we're looking for, and also talking about what are the pieces of the puzzle and the evaluation process in regards to getting that.
So such a big part of the Combine process, not just being able to watch the players do their drills and run the 40 or whatever, but getting to interview these guys and get to know them face to face. With that process, what has it been like in terms of when you sit in front of these players? Shotty's emphasized culture so much. How important is it to kind of see their side of things and what they can bring to the table from a culture perspective?
I think what I just said there is probably the most important part of that, is just understanding that every single thing that we do here is just a piece of the puzzle. So you may interview a guy and go, you know what, I didn't love the way that scheme came out, or I thought that was really, really well the way that scheme came out. Also keeping in the back of our mind that they're working really hard on it, or maybe that's not the most important thing for that position and what they're going to try to bring to our offense. So taking everything as just a piece of the puzzle rather than overreacting to one part of it, in my opinion, in my experience, has been really important.
And I know this is a question that I'm sure you've gotten plenty of times, and most coordinators do, but every time you think about draft interviews, there's always something that stands out, or someone that stands out, maybe something that was said that stands out. When you think back to your time as you've been at the Combine in your career, is there something that stood out to you over the years in terms of something that was said in a Combine interview, and why?
Oh, gosh, specifically off the top of my head, I can't really think of one thing that is just outrageous. Again, just taking little notes and just little bites and little pieces of the puzzle. One of the things I thought that was pretty funny just now is that We're Coming to America by Neil Diamond came on like full blast in the stadium, and so the guy that we're interviewing all of a sudden had to raise his voice and start trying to talk over the top of it, and we had to tell him that was part of it, man. We planned that, so.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're the DJ controlling the music and the sound. Awesome. So Cowboys offensive coordinator and part-time DJ Clayton Adams joining us. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Cowboys fan, big news: Clayton Adams is officially in charge of the offense. No more co-offensive coordinator tag. He's the guy now. And that means a lot for how this offense is going to take shape in 2025. Adams has worked his way up through the coaching ranks, from assistant O-line coach to tight ends coach, then back to O-line. Now, as the full-fledged defensive coordinator, he's stepping into a bigger role, evaluating talent, shaping the scheme, and making sure this unit can dominate. But here's the big question. Can he elevate this Cowboys offense and take it to the next level? With weapons like ceedee Lamb, Tony Pollard, and possibly new draft picks, all eyes are on Adams to make it work. What do you think? Will Adams deliver? Drop your thoughts in the comments, but Adams isn't doing this alone. He's working side by side with Brian Schottenheimer, and for the first time, Schottenheimer is leading the Cowboys as head coach at the Combine, According to Adams, one thing stands out about Schottenheimer. He's the same guy every single day. The energy, the enthusiasm, it's all real. No fake hype, no empty speeches, and let's be honest. After everything we've seen from the Cowboys in recent years, having a coach who's consistent and authentic could be exactly what this team needs. Schottenheimer is setting the tone, not just for the combine, but for the entire culture in Dallas. If he keeps everyone on the same page, maybe, just maybe, the Cowboys can finally turn the page on all the disappointment. Now, I want to know what you think. Are you confident in Schottenheimer as the new head coach? Vote in the comments. Confident, cautious with Schottenheimer setting the tone, the Cowboys are approaching this combine with a clear strategy. And Clayton Adams, he's right in the middle of it. Adams explained that evaluating players isn't just about testing numbers or highlight plays, it's about finding the right fit. Every player is like a piece of a puzzle, and Dallas can't afford to force the wrong ones into place. That's why the coaching staff is focused on the big picture, making sure they don't jump to conclusions based on one good interview or a flashy 40-yard dash. And let's be real, the Cowboys can't afford to miss on talent this year. With so many questions about the roster, every decision in this draft could shape the future of the team. So here's the big question for you. Which positions should the Cowboys prioritize in the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's see what Cowboys Nation is thinking. For a team to succeed, it's not just about talent on the field, it's about everyone in the building being on the same page. And that's exactly what the Cowboys' new coaching staff is working on right now. Clayton Adams spoke about how crucial it is to build chemistry early. With a new offensive coordinator, a head coach taking full control for the first time, and multiple fresh faces on the staff, the challenge isn't just creating a game plan, it's making sure everyone understands and believes in it. That's why these weeks before the draft are so important. The coaching staff needs to establish their identity, refine their process, and ensure that when the time comes to select players, they're all making decisions with the same vision in mind. Now, here's one for you. Do you believe this new coaching staff can take the Cowboys to the next level? Drop a yes or nitrogen monoxide in the comments, and let's see where the fans stand. One thing that stands out about this new era of the Cowboys: the energy. Even with all the changes, the atmosphere around the team seems positive, focused, and even a little fun. A perfect example? During the combine, while Clayton Adams was answering questions about his role, a loud blast of music interrupted the interview. Instead of getting flustered, Adams laughed it off, showing just how relaxed and comfortable he is in his new position. It might seem like a small moment, but it says a lot about the mindset of this staff: focused, but not stiff, serious about winning, but still able to enjoy the process. That kind of chemistry and confidence, it matters. And if the Cowboys get it right, 2025 could be a special season. Now, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss anything about what's coming next for the Cowboys. Let's ride this season together. And hey, how are you feeling about the team's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments.